No electricity? No problem. Here is my very small but cool collection of paraffin lamps, commonly referred to as hurricane lamps. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can tell, this one is not working yet, so we're going to be talking about that soon, about possibly making that into a project. If you want to check it out, hit me up in the comments and we'll get that done. Okay, here are some funnels which we're going to talk about in a bit as well. So I believe it's a very good thing to at least have one of these. Okay, it's just an alternative way of creating light and some heat. You won't believe the heat in these. It's incredible. Okay, it will heat and light a small space very, very well, and the paraffin or kerosene will burn for a long time. Don't forget, stay to the end of the video and there'll be a couple of small tips. But before we go any further, I have to say this: carbon monoxide kills. Okay, what's going to happen is all of these flames are going to be burning in a confined space, i.e. a bedroom or a lounge, etc. There's no oxygen getting in because you shut the doors and the windows. That flame is going to suck all of the oxygen out of that space, leaving the oxygen levels very, very small. Okay, that's going to give out carbon monoxide. You start breathing that in, the long and the story short is you're going to go to sleep and you're never ever going to wake up again. Having something like a carbon monoxide detector is absolutely paramount. Okay, anyone who is using flame, whether it's a candle or heaters like this, in a room without any ventilation runs the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, you have to get one of these. Most of these last for about 10 years. Okay, so when you get them, they're pretty much good to go, and you can test them here by pressing a button periodically to make sure that they still work. All it's going to do is it's going to emit a little beep, a flashing light, press it again, it goes off, test complete. Real simple. Okay, made by a company called Kidde. Been using these for a long time. As I say, they run for 10 years and they will absolutely save your life if you're using anything like this, or indeed any flame in a room. Okay, had to point that out. Very, very important. We always advise safety first on this channel. So without further ado, let's get a bit of close-ups and see what these are all about. Right, starting off with this little one here. It's by a company called Chalwyn. CHALWYN. It's the Tempest. I prefer this one myself because, as you can probably tell, out of all of these, it's got the biggest reservoir tank in the bottom. All right. All of these, when I got them, they was in a bad state. Apart from this one was new. I stripped them all down, serviced them, cleaned them, put new wicks in them, and put them all back together again and tested them, and they're all absolutely fine. Apart from this one here, I just found this about 10 minutes before going onto camera. This was in one of the drawers in the cottage that we're staying at. So as a project, if you want to see me refurbish this and get this working, let me know in the comments, and I'll get on to that video and bring that to you. But like I said, this one's my favourite one because it's got the most size tank in there. It's the biggest one. Okay, so absolutely at a pinch you can hang these up or put these anywhere in your home. But like I said, you really do have to get that carbon monoxide detector, as stated right at the beginning of this video. This happens to have a globe on the front by a company called Dietz, and Dietz is a German company, been making these for a long time. Okay, now this one is another one by Chalwyn. Absolutely love this company who make these, and like I said, I got these in a really bad order. I stripped them down and cleaned them. They're fine. You could really go a long way and sandblasting them, etc., and spraying them up. But for me, they're perfectly serviceable and they absolutely work like a charm. And also they give off a lot of heat as well. You've only got to hover your hand above the top and the warmth that you'll get is incredible. Before I go any further, you must stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to share a really cool tip about fuels for these. Moving along to this one then, one of the smaller ones. I got this brand new back in 2012. I was under the misconception that they were no longer making these. It turns out to be rubbish. They're still making them. So I've got one, but I'm glad I did because they are so small you can put them anywhere. Okay, gives them a bit of an advantage over the bigger ones. A company called Feuerhand up in Germany, and it is really a cute little thing. Absolutely love it. Okay, very small, very compact. A lot of people like to take these out on wild camps and that sort of thing. very popular because of its small size. As I said earlier, this one is an old genuine miner's lamp. Okay, I'm living in a remote mountain area in Wales, and lots of old cottages have these. Okay, specifically designed for power cuts and that sort of thing. Here we have a smaller one which I actually bought a few years ago, and I refurbished it. It pretty much looked exactly the same as that one. And going back to my days when I was in the forces, I love Brasso, so I'll give her a good clean. If you can tell, there's a tiny little bell on the top. Okay, now any of you know why that's there, put it in the comments. All I can say, it's a bit of a quiz, all I can say is to do with mining and being underground. Okay, so all that does really is unscrews the bottom. You just light the wick, job done. Okay, it's very, very simple to use, and that will give you loads of light in your home. Obviously, every time that you fill these up, let me just show you this one for an example. If you look on the back there, you can see that round cap. Now, all I've done for myself is I've got a selection of funnels. Okay, all different shapes and sizes, and they all do for multiple things. I always keep these together. It makes filling all these up an absolute cinch. Okay, if you really didn't have any funnels like this, you're just going to have to improvise. Find small bottles of water or any sort of bottle material which will fit into them little holes there where you fill them up, and all you got to do is trim the bottom off, give it a good clean, and you can use that as a funnel. Absolutely awesome idea, and I've used that and it works like a charm. So there we have it. This is my small little collection of Hurricane lamps. Absolutely love them. Okay, but like I said at the start of the video, you really do need to get a carbon monoxide detector. Okay, I can't point that out enough. Okay, what I don't want to see is people getting all of these, not getting a carbon monoxide detector and having all sorts of problems, and it comes back to me. Always safety first, and make sure that you've got some ventilation in the room too. Okay, a tiny little crack of a window open, the door open a tiny little bit. If it gets a bit whiffy, okay, just let some oxygen in and let some of this smell, because it does smell a bit. Like I said earlier in the video, there's a tip at the end, but just before you get there, another small little tip. Okay, when you light these, go outside and light them, leave them outside for 5 minutes, then bring them in. Okay, because it will cut out a lot of the fumes. Some people like the fumes, some people hate them. Personally, I quite like the smell. It's very nostalgic and it reminds me of my childhood, the days before no central heating. Okay, and obviously when you've got no electricity and you need to see, having things like these with a good supply of paraffin is absolutely awesome. So thanks for watching and staying to the end. As promised, here's a little tip. If you haven't got any paraffin and you really need to, only as an emergency, okay, look, all of these you can use as fuel for your awesome little Hurricane lamps. Okay, they absolutely work. Vegetable oil, this one is bran rice oil or rice bran oil, light olive oil and extra virgin olive oil. Okay, they will absolutely work only in an emergency. Okay, there's all different times that they're going to burn. Okay, you might get a little bit of smoke, etc. It all depends on the velocity, I'm glad I said that right, of the actual oil, thicker or thinner. Okay, the thinner the better. All right, so it's just a tip, only for emergencies, only if you really had to, you run out of paraffin or you lost it, you really needed to see what's going on in the home, etc. They will do at a pinch. So get looking on eBay, okay, and you will find these. You will find them in antique shops, sometimes in charity shops. Okay, go and visit your old neighbours to see if they've got some. If you're lucky, you might be able to buy them really cheap off of them if they no longer need them or don't like them or whatever it is. And give yourself a nice little project so you can strip these down. Incidentally, I'm going to be putting a video very soon on how to strip these down and to completely look after it. It's a very quick, simple, easy thing to do, and I'm going to bring you along because some of this stuff is brand new to people and you just won't have a clue. The next video that I do about this and this little series will help you no end. Okay, so there we have it. No electricity, no problem. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.